Mazuma TV back in the building, man. What's going on, y'all? Shout out to Mazuma Nation. Shout out to the Mazuma Mob. We in the building as always, man. I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive day. I don't got work today, man. We celebrating Martin Luther King Day. I hope everybody is having a great day nonetheless. But I'm back at y'all with some more boxing talk. All right, y'all. I just wanted to recap what had happened this weekend between Artur Beterbiev and Callum Smith. You know what I mean? I'm looking at this fight, man. I had a few people ask me what my thoughts were going to be going into this fight. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna pull up the audio that I had. Let me see if I could bring that up. But regardless, one of my guys had asked me what did I believe was going to happen with the whole Artur Beterbiev and Callum Smith fight. And looking at the fight, man, I understood that Callum Smith was a threat. This man has undeniable power. Big dude. Like I really don't understand how he made 168 pounds, bro. Like it had definitely had to be a struggle getting down there. Because even at 175, he looked like a full-fledged light heavyweight. You know what I'm saying? So you can imagine that he was an even bigger super middleweight. So he looked like he had the size advantage going into the fight with Artur Beterbiev. You know, Artur is obviously the more he's been at the weight class longer. You know what I mean? So he carried the weight a little bit different. But regardless, looking at the fight, I understood that he had undeniable power. He had good boxing ability, so I knew that he could present Artur Beterbiev trouble. And being that Artur Beterbiev is 38 years old and has been extremely inactive and a lot of wear and tear from injuries that he's had in the past, I knew that Callum could possibly do something. You know what I mean? And this is the audio recording that I have right here. My friend had asked me, did I think that Callum Smith could win? And this was my audio that I had put out. And this was Saturday at 6 o'clock. So this was a little bit before the fight had happened. Because Beterbiev is 38 and is extremely inactive, that's possible. Me personally, because I think he coming from a smaller weight class and got dominated by smaller guys like Canelo Alvarez and shit, and was respectful of Canelo's power. I think that Beterbiev's power is going to take over around like fourth, fifth, sixth. I think Beterbiev going to stop him in the between fifth to seventh round. That's what I think. I think he's going to break him up. But if you do bet on Callum, it got to be an amount that you ain't tripping about. You know what I'm saying? Like a little small John. So there it is, man. I was pretty much on the money with what happened. Callum Smith had some great moments, though. I'm not discrediting Callum at all. He proved that he deserved to be in there with top light heavyweights. And I would like to see Callum come back and fight some top-notch guys. You know what I mean? Because I think that he has a strong case for beating them. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that he could beat Bivol or anything of that nature, but I would like to see him in the mix with like a Joe Smith. I wouldn't mind seeing that. I mean, I think Joe Smith's last fight was at cruiserweight. I don't know exactly what his intentions are, whether he's going to stay there or not, but there's some great fights that could be made for Callum Smith is what I'm trying to get at. You know what I'm saying? That and there was some points where he landed some great shots on Artur Beterbiev, man, but that dude had a poker face. And he continued doing what he do, and that's just be a seek and destroy type of fighter. You know what I mean? Was putting his punches together, wasn't loading up on everything, was just continuously applying pressure, man. But it seemed like Callum Smith was holding up to Beterbiev's power pretty well. But you could see that the pressure was just getting more intense as the rounds went on. Like I said, the fifth round, he actually came out. Artur Beterbiev came out in the beginning, like the first round, just throwing all bombs. I don't know if it was because he was upset with the reports of him having atypical findings in his drug tests and stuff like that. I don't know exactly what had him so amped up, but nonetheless, he came out trying to do damage off of the rip. But the fifth round, Callum Smith absorbed a lot of punishment, and I just knew it was going to go downhill from there. In the seventh round, gets hit with a clean shot. Callum Smith legs react funny. Artur Beterbiev applies the pressure, drops him. He's able to beat the count. He gets back up. He accumulates more damage, gets dropped again. Buddy McGurk stops the fight. You know what I'm saying? Buddy McGurk, unfortunately, has been in some cases where he has stopped the fight too late for fighters. If y'all know, y'all know. I'm not going to get too much into that. But Beterbiev gets the stoppage, gets the stoppage in the seventh round. So now he is 20-0 with 20 knockouts. I believe he is the only world champion currently that has 100% knockout ratio. So that's extremely impressive. And Artur Beterbiev, man, when you talking about him, you gotta put him up there with the hardest punchers in the sport of boxing right now, and you have to put him in there with one of the best finishers in boxing right now. Because, like I said, if you're a world champion with multiple title defenses, unified world champion, and you're still maintaining a 100% knockout ratio, that's incredible, bro. That's incredible. So now there's only one guy left for Artur Beterbiev to dominate to become the undisputed light heavyweight champion of the world. And that's Dimitri Bivol. Dimitri Bivol just came off of a great performance against London Arthur on that Saudi Arabia card where Wilder and Parker was on, and Anthony Joshua and Otto Wallen. He was able to drop London Arthur. He was letting his hands go real well. He dominated the fight. You know what I mean? He didn't get the knockout, but he dominated the fight. So it's an intriguing matchup, man. It's an intriguing matchup. I love this fight between Beterbiev and Dimitri Bivol, and it's long overdue, man. I think they should have fought a while back, but nonetheless, it's for all the belts. They both still look good despite Artur Beterbiev's age. So I'm looking forward to see how these styles match up, man. Dimitri Bivol is somebody who understands distance real well, a great volume puncher, accurate puncher as well, great conditioning. Going up against somebody like Artur Beterbiev, who always comes into the fight in dog shape, applies tremendous pressure on his opponents and breaks them down piece by piece. You know what I mean? So there's going to be some questions that need to be answered between both of these guys because neither one of these guys have faced an opponent like each other. You know what I mean? Neither one of these guys have faced opponents that bring to the table with what each other brings to the table. So we really going to see what these guys are made of, man. From what I understand, Dimitri Bivol has signed his half for that mega fight with Artur Beterbiev. And Artur Beterbiev, the only thing that he had to do was defeat Callum Smith and get that out of the way. And he was able to do so in great fashion. So let's see it happen in Saudi Arabia, man. I love this fight right here. It's one of the biggest fights to be made in boxing. And I seriously don't know who's gonna win this, bro. Like, you know what I mean? It's a tough fight, man. I could argue that Bivol could keep him at the end of his punches and completely outbox him and just overwhelm him with combination punches. I could also make an argument that Artur Beterbiev is gonna walk Bivol down, come in behind his jab, and which he has underrated. Let's not get it wrong. Besides being an extremely hard puncher and a great pressure fighter, Artur Beterbiev has sound skills as well. Nothing flashy, you know what I mean? But he's textbook, man. He has a good jab. He out-jabbed Callum Smith, who was the taller fighter. You know what I mean? Shorter fighter out-jabbing the taller fighter. That takes skill to do so. You know what I mean? Not a lot of fighters are capable of doing so against taller fighters. A lot of short fighters get discouraged from using the jab against taller fighters, but Beterbiev, he showed that it's possible. You know what I mean? And this is a fight that's sensational, bro. No doubt. One of the biggest fights to be made in boxing. When you mentioned that fight, one of the most meaningful fights in boxing. You mentioned these fights along with the Benavidez's and the Canelos. You mentioned this with the Devin Haney's and Gervonta Davis's and the Shakur Stevenson fights all mixed together. This is one of the biggest fights to be made in boxing, along with the Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk fight. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really looking forward to seeing this fight being signed and made. I know there was some politics that had gotten in the way initially with the WBC not allowing Dimitri Bivol to fight for the title because of the whole war that's going on between Ukraine and Russia or whatever. Just complete nonsense. Hopefully Bivol's team and them have reached out to the WBC to try to get some type of truce going on so these guys could have nothing in the way of these guys fighting for everything, for all the belts. And whoever wins this fight, in all honesty, between Bivol and Beterbiev is the top 5 pound-for-pound fighter, hands down, no debating. You know what I mean? You could probably make a case for top 3, honestly. But top 5, no doubt, pound-for-pound level fighter, whoever comes out victorious in this. Like I said, I could make a case for either one of these guys to win this fight, and that's how you know you have a great fight. You know what I mean? We could talk about Beterbiev's age all day, but and there's people that believe that he had gotten exposed in certain instances, but nonetheless, he couldn't be that much exposed because he's still an undefeated unified champion of the world. You know what I mean? So let's see what Bivol pulls out the hat, man. Bivol, he's made some great statements in his career. Gilberto Ramirez, he's beat one of the most popular fighters in boxing, Saul Canelo Alvarez, and dominated him. So this is not a man to be played with. You know what I mean? This is not a man to be played with. I've seen Artur Beterbiev fight live at the Leocore Center in Philadelphia against Alexander. I think his name was Alexander Vozdik. You know what I mean? They called him the Nail. He was the WBC light heavyweight champion at the time after beating Adonis Stevenson. You know what I mean? So I've seen both of these guys. I know what both of these guys are capable of, and it's an amazing fight. You know what I mean? So let's just see what happens, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this fight right here, man. Is the fight next? Who do you have going into this fight? Who you rooting for? You let me know in the comments below. This is Mazuma TV. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm out of here, man. Peace.